What's up everybody and welcome to this video. Now before you ask and say what the hell is that on the screen, this is a game that came out almost 10 years ago. It's Mortal Kombat 9. Now just about everybody I've talked to says that they absolutely despise the poking system in MK11. People just do not like it. And looking at all the different games NRS has made from MK9 to Injustice 1, Injustice 2, MKX and now MK11, out of all these games, Mortal Kombat 9 came the closest to creating a good poke game. And I know there's so many people that have never played this game before, so I'm going to briefly explain how the pokes worked in this game. So this game had a couple rules. The down ones in this game, for the most part, for pretty much 95% of the characters, were faster than the down threes. See, Katana's poke here is 6 frames. She's one of the characters that has a very fast poke. And the down threes were slower than the down ones usually, and Katana's down 3 is 7 frames. Now this game, regarding the block data, the down ones were extremely unsafe on block. I'm talking, like Katana's down one for example was minus 14 on block. Some characters had minus 13 poke, some of them had minus 12 for the most part. If you did a down one in this game and your opponent blocked it, not only did they get a down one punish back on your poke, but some characters, if they were quick enough, could actually get a full combo punish on your poke. Now that's not good to have. You don't want pokes to be full combo punishable, which is why the meta for this game evolved to people mainly using their down threes, because down threes in this game, even though they were usually a frame slower than the characters down ones, the down threes in this game were all minus 7 on block for 98% of the cast. The down threes were pretty much safe. You could not punish down threes in this game, but they left you at minus 7, and because you were at minus 7, you had to give up your turn because your opponent had 7 frames to work with. Now regarding the pokes in this game, another thing that was different is, as you can see, the block stun is basically non-existent. So you're probably asking, well, Rio, you said Katana's down one is minus 15 on block. That doesn't look minus 15 to me. Look how fast she's recovering. The reason it's minus 15 isn't because Katana's stuck in recovery. It's minus 15 because there's barely any block stun for the opponent. So even though it looks like Katana can do this and then block immediately after, if the Nightwolf player is fast enough and waiting for the down one, he can immediately block it and respond, but he has to be anticipating for you to do the poke. Same thing with down 3. Down 3s are safer, they're minus 7, but the pokes have barely any block stun, so you had to quickly react to punish them. So it wasn't just, you block it and you have all day to punish. There was a lot of anticipation involved in reading your opponent going for down one and then immediately counter poking back with a fast mid. Now with that said, a lot of the pokes in the NRS games after this became pretty crazy frame data wise. Like we have pokes currently in MK11 that are 7 frames, they low profile and they're minus 2, minus 1 on block, ridiculous things like that. This game had no pokes like that. In this game, no matter what character you chose and you did a down 1 or down 3 on block to get out of pressure, you were having to hold your opponent's offense after that. There was no way of getting around that unless you did something like a Sonya down 1 into armor, which is a whole nother story. But strictly speaking about pokes, this game, again, came the closest to designing a very good poke system that wasn't scrubby and had good counterplay to it. Now, the block data isn't the only thing I want to talk about regarding pokes in this game. I don't want to just talk about, okay, like the pokes had, barely any block stun and they were all minus 7 or more on block. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I want to show you guys something else that made the poke meta in this game very in-depth, and I'm not sure who was in charge of designing the pokes in this game, because believe it or not, the poke system in this game had a lot of depth to it. If you didn't understand how pokes worked in this game and how to get around them and how to use them in what situations, you were at a huge disadvantage when playing against other people that knew the poke meta. So let me show you guys something, and I want you guys to look very carefully. Do you guys see what's happening right now? You guys are probably like, yeah, Rio, the pokes are hitting Nightwolf, okay? What's so special about that? Okay, now I want you to watch this. Look carefully, and I want you guys to notice if you can see anything different. You guys see that? You guys are probably like, Rio, what the hell are you talking about? You're crazy. Let me explain to you what just happened. So, in this game, and this is the only NRS game out of any MK game out there, this is the only game where the pokes had different hit reactions depending how your opponent was getting hit. So, for example, let's say you hit your opponent with a down 3. If Nightwolf gets hit by down 3 standing, let's just use random frame data. I'd say Katana's plus 5 on it. So I'll hit Nightwolf standing 3. You can see that Katana doesn't have much frame advantage. She's like plus 5 or something, right? Now, if Nightwolf were to get a poke while in crouch state, look at this. I'm going to be holding up again after I hit him. Look at the amount of hit advantage Katana has. The reason that's happening like that is because this game has different hit states for pokes. There's a complete new set of animations for getting hit by a poke standing, and then there's a complete new set of animations for getting hit by a poke crouching. This is where the poke meta came in. If you got hit by a poke standing, you didn't receive much hit advantage. You would be like +5 or so, you know, not a big deal. But down threes are lows, so eventually you're going to want to block low. And for the players out there that love to crouch and mash pokes all day, you know what happens to them? They end up getting hit by a crouching poke. And when you get hit by a crouching poke in this game, the poke's hit advantage triples. So now the poke isn't no longer +5. Now you're looking at the poke being like triple in data, being like +15. So now when you get hit by down 3, you have to hold what comes next. You're getting hit by the follow-up. You cannot move. You have to understand that, okay, I got hit by crouching. I have to respect the next follow-up. Now, I know NRS cannot do this for MK11. I don't want to say it's too late, but it wouldn't be fair to say, okay, NRS has to make a new complete set of animations for their entire cast and give them new reactions of getting hit by poke crouching and then leaving the animation how it is standing. That would be too complex, and that's, like I said, it's not a fair thing to ask. So you can't really ask NRS to add this specific poke game that MK9 had into that game. But wouldn't it be amazing if in MK11, let's say a Kotal Khan, right? Kotal Khan's down 1 normally in MK11 is what, +10 if you're caught standing? He hits you and you're +10, not really an advantage. But how great would it be if you caught somebody mashing pokes and you hit them with their poke as they're crouching, and then instead of your poke being +10 with Kotal, your poke now becomes like, I don't know, maybe double that, like +18, 19, 20, and now they have to hold your follow-up. Having something like that, that little bit of depth being added would make such a big difference with having characters deal with the poke system and how things work. And that's not to touch on the hitbox fixes, because yes, everyone's hitboxes need to be fixed for MK11, that's a priority. Fix the hitboxes. But in terms of how the poking works, ever since MK9, I feel like they took a step back. I would love for one day, like I said, I don't think it's going to happen for MK11 because they would have to go back to the drawing board. They would have to create all these unique animations for characters getting hit crouching, characters getting hit standing, and I understand it would be a lot complicated, and NRS isn't looking to make their games more complicated like that in the regards of how MK9 was, but it would be great if in Mortal Kombat 12, NRS can revisit what they had for MK9 and just build off it and make it better. You don't have to make down ones -13 on block. That's ridiculous. You don't want pokes to be full combo punishable. But if they could go back, look at what they had with MK9, they had something special with the poke system in this game. Make down ones like, you know, safe, like -7. Keep them like that. Make down threes -7, you know, slightly tweak frame data depending on what characters have them. And then reintroduce the whole, okay, you got hit crouching for mashing jabs, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to hold more hit advantage for your opponent. Having something like that, it was very interesting and it created a fun meta because in this game, down ones had a huge hitboxes. Down threes, even though they were safe on block, down threes had a special property where down threes had no hitbox against airborne opponents unless they were being juggled. So for example, if I have Nightwolf on jump, if I have him on jump, it's literally impossible for me to hit him with a down 3 because in this game, again, I don't know who designed this game, but you cannot hit your opponent out of the air with a down 3. It's physically impossible. They cannot get hit out of the air with the down 3. The down 3s in this game, all of them, globally, they had no hitbox against airborne opponents. You could only hit them when they were grounded, like I'm doing right there. I'm hitting him when he's touching the ground. But against airborne opponents, down 3s didn't have a hitbox, so you had to use down 1s. Down 1s had different uses than down 3s in this game. And since a lot of people usually use down 3s, a lot of characters in this game had moves that crushed lows, like for example Katana. If you do a down 3 and Katana reads that and spaces you and then comes under 4-3-1, you're going to get full comboed. It had a very interesting meta with dealing with the whole poke system. And just to show you guys that down 3s actually work in combos only, like I said, I don't know how they programmed this, it's very specific, but down 3s, they have no hitbox against airborne opponents unless they're being juggled, then they do. So if I do like a jump kick, you can see that all of a sudden it has a hitbox now. But if Nightwolf is jumping, I literally cannot hit him. But again, if I do like a jab, airborne, and then hit him, all of a sudden my down 3 has a hitbox. So MK9 had very specific ways that they coded moves to work in this game. especially the poking system. The poking system in this game was so underrated. If they could just maybe revisit it, polish up the poking system, rehash what was good about it, get rid of the negative, which was, you know, the down ones were too unsafe in this game. They should be made safer, and just reintroduce a poking system that made depth and encouraged good play and had a very interesting meta around it, whereas if your opponent got caught mashing down pokes, they got punished because there was more hit advantage. And even with down fours in this game followed the opposite rule. If your opponent got hit out of crouch with a down 4, there was less hit advantage. Sorry about that, guys. I have this on player vs player just so I could use the second character. But anyway, if you hit your opponent with a crouching state, look at that. The hit advantage, it's good, but it's not that good. But if you got hit standing by down 4, let's say you were standing, and I'll hold the palm up, you had humongous hit advantage. You had to know when to use pokes in this game. Down 4s were very good against people caught stand blocking because of the animation. They were caught getting kicked in the shins with the stand blocking. They were stuck in so much hit stun compared to if they got caught crouching. And the same thing with down 3s. Down 3s and down 1s worked opposite. If you got caught in a crouch state by down 3, down 1, you were stuck in so much more hit advantage than standing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Maybe this will give NRS an idea to either revisit the MK9 poke system and remake it in a better way for MK12, or possibly they could surprise us and make a brand new poke system that we'll all enjoy, just like how they did with the brand new wake up system in MK11.